Coach, Saturday night it was easy to see how much that meant to you and to the players, to the team, to everybody. But now that you've had a chance to review the film, is there something that you think was critical that your team was able to do to get over that hump and finish that game in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I think it was really what was evident. It was a team effort in all three phases of the game, and that's what it was going to take. And we had to be patient because we're obviously playing the number one defense in the conference, and I thought our defense really stepped up, got the ball back, made some key stops. Offense did enough to score enough points to win, and really, was able to move the ball, not get behind in field position, right? So move the ball enough to be able to change field position and give them a long field to go for most of the night, except for right before the half, obviously. But special teams played really well, and so it was a team effort, and guys played extremely hard, and you could tell it meant a lot to them. And I've never doubted our effort. Our kids play their hearts out all the time, and so it was really, really rewarding to see them have some success and be able to come away with the victory and obviously the Valley Trophy. And so yeah, it was a great night for our kids.
I think it was a great night for a lot of people, and the atmosphere was kind of unique. I know that you're focused on plays, but did you feel, the presence of your 82 teammates, Derek, Devante, so many Bulldog greats in the house?
I really didn't. I'm just kind of focused on my little thing going on there. Unfortunately, Devante was going to talk to the team before the game, but unfortunately something happened to his plane. He didn't get here, so I never got a chance to see him. And just running on the field, saw some of the 82 team. It's always nice to have representation from former Bulldogs, and the fans were awesome. The stadium was full, and the fans were into it, and so, we let them down in the Oregon State game. We didn't hold on, and so just happy that we were able to get a victory for the fans who come out and support us.
And you generated a little momentum now, but I know you're also waiting to see when some other guys are getting back. Any chance of getting some of those injured players back on the field this week?
Again, that's week to week and day to day, and so it seems like it's just kind of a revolving door because maybe you get one guy back and another guy goes down during the week, and so early in the week like this, you're still kind of evaluating the damage, I guess, of how severe some of the injuries were during the game, if they're going to be able to play this week or not, and how many days of practice they have to sit out, and so on and so forth. But no new updates on the long-term guys. Nothing. There's no updates as of now for that.
Coach, after such a long road trip filled with so much adversity, your team now goes back on the road. Do you think they learned anything specifically that they'll take to Albuquerque this weekend?
Well, I told them, it's critical that we travel well. We've had enough experience at traveling, that's for sure. So that's not going to be anything new for us. But each time you travel, each venue, each team that you play, bring new challenges. And Mexico's number 2 in defense, in rush defense, and I looked at the standings and the stats today as far as where people stand, and this would be the third team top defense that we've played out of the top 4 in our conference, and Air Force is the other one, and we don't play them. So early on in our conference play, we're playing some of the top defenses that are in our conference.
Coach, in looking at New Mexico, they're obviously a team that's struggling right now. What do you make of their most recent game against New Mexico State?
Well, it was kind of a weird one to figure out because they really dominated the time of possession, yards, all the stats. They just weren't able to put it in the end zone and sell it for 3 field goals, and so typically that doesn't allow victories, but it wasn't like they weren't doing positive things. And so they can be a dangerous team for sure. Their quarterback's been around a long time. He's a senior. And So, and they play great defense, as I mentioned. And so, it seemed like one of those nights for them where they couldn't finish drives, but they're very capable of doing so.
Jamie Christian is on their staff, running backs coach, obviously somebody that you know very well, coached with you here when you came the first time around. What type of a job do you think he's been doing over there, and is he somebody that you keep in touch with, follow his career, even if he's not currently on your staff?
Yeah, Jamie's a friend. Spoke with him in the off season. I have not looked at the special teams yet. I did look at some of the numbers statistically, and they seem to be doing a good job there. I know what kind of coach he is. I know he's a detailed coach, and so I'm sure they'll be very prepared and ready to go.
With your team, I know obviously you guys were thrilled with that defensive effort. David Perales was named the Mountain West Defensive Player of the Week this week, certainly well earned for his 4 sacks. Anything specific that you'd like to say on his performance and how he's been the captain of that defense, so to speak?
Yeah, that was a phenomenal night for him. The effort and the plays that he made, getting 4 sacks and I think 5 tackles for loss, and just really played hard. And and it's key that the other guys do their jobs as well, and so that they're taking up blocks so David can maybe be one-on-one. And I thought our defensive staff, Coach Coyle and the staff, did a really nice job with the game plan, really mixing it up. And he wasn't only rushing, but he was dropping, and he played a major role in the defensive game plan and executed really well. And that's the way he is. He practices that way every single day. You kind of have to pull the reins back on him a little bit because he's just so intense. But really happy for him, and we really needed that effort, along with everybody else on defense. I thought our defense really played well. Played hard, ran to the ball, did a good job of tackling, and so we're going to need another one this week.
On offense, you had said at this time last week that you thought Logan would play better at home after the struggles on the road. How would you assess the way that he played last night? Were you happy with his performance? I'm sorry, Saturday night. Were you happy with his performance?
Yeah, he was 22 of 32. I think that's 69% passing for 230 yards against a team who had given up 150 yards a game passing. And what I think I was most impressed with was his poise, because the game did not start off very well as far as pass protection. And, for him to keep his poise and hang in there and do some good things and move the ball down the field. I thought the experience of the previous 2 games, I thought it showed